All right. Again, I'm sorry. I thought it was something I could quickly do. I didn't know Zoom was even part of the background, whatever. Until I discovered that I've been speaking English, nobody was responding. That's when I realized that I've also killed Zoom. Okay, so we have let's rename this one as master node. Although, like I said, none of them is a master yet. Can you hear me, sirs? Hello, can you
Yes, I
hear
can hear
me?
you. Yes, I can.
Okay, so I'm just going to copy these IP addresses and then okay, this worker one, okay, this key, London, connect, Ubuntu, and then continue. Can we do the same for the third server? It as well. Ubuntu, yep, connect. Okay, so now we have a master node and two worker nodes. Now, okay, please scratch that. We have three servers, and the three servers have the basic Kubernetes installation and configuration on them. Do you all copy? That's the first step of setting up a cluster. So this is server one, server two, server three. These three servers are going to be our production servers. And on the three of them, we've installed Kubernetes and we've configured and we've confirmed. Okay. We will now pick any of these server, any of these three to become our what? Our master node. Okay. So Mr. Henry, do you get the drift now? We have three servers and none of them is master, while none of them is, I forget all the names I give them here. It's just names. Okay. So I can choose to pick this one to become the master, and I can decide to use this as the master. So to make one the master, come in, clear. The command is gone. I copied it somewhere. Let me get the command. The command to initiate master node on any of the, this is my Kubernetes, this. Okay. So look at the command, sudo kubeadm initiate control plane endpoint. We put the private IP of the server here, then upload certificates, API server advertise the address, the private IP again, then the CIDR pod, which is this, CIDR 16. Okay. So when we say that kubeadm is the component of Kubernetes that will help us to install the minimum viable what? Cluster. Do you remember it from that, what's it called now? From picture, right?
Yeah.
See, it is kubeadm we are doing now. So what do you think we want to do to this server? We want to make this node the what?
Node.
Control plane, which is going to be our
Control plane.
master node,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to change this. We're going to put here the private IP. It's hanging, and I don't know why, so I have to wait so I don't go. So let's keep private IP here, 50.0.4.132. Okay, we do the same here. You see that 0.4.132. Is that correct? Okay, so
Yeah.
this command, you either switch to root and run it, or you use what? Sudo. And don't forget, you have closed that link. Part of the requirement is that you have a user that have access to what? They have access to root, or a user that can use sudo. Okay. Privileged access to the system, root or what? Sudo user has it. So let's tap enter and initiate, initialize control plane. Running pre-flight checks, pulling images required for setting up a Kubernetes cluster. This might take 2 minutes or so. Can also perform this action before and using blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we have successfully run the command. So we are on our way to making this node a master node indeed. But we have follow-up information here. You see, to start using your cluster, you need to run the following as a regular user. Okay, so you know I said this command, we either switched to root to run it or we use sudo. So it assumed that we switched to root. And that's why it's saying to us here, to start using your cluster, run the following as a regular user. That means you switch back to Ubuntu or the user that you have and run this command. Alternatively, if you are the root user, you can run this command. But let's run this command one by one. That's the first one. Then sudo copy all of that.
The first one is creating the directory, right?
You said?
The first one is creating the directory, that dot cube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is it.
Yes.
So now that we've run those 3 commands, you should now deploy, no, not yet. You can now join any number of the control plane node, running the following command on each as root. That means if we have other nodes that wants to join this cluster as control plane, we're going to run this command.
Okay.
Because what we've done is what? We've initialized control plane. However, you can join any number of worker nodes by what?
That's completely
Running the following on each as root. So we, in our case, what we want to do is we want to add 2 worker nodes to the cluster. So we have a cluster now, and within the cluster, what we have is just one server, which is the control plane. We now want to add 2 worker nodes. So this is our own command. So then you can join any number of worker nodes by running the following as on each as well. We copy all of this. Okay. So we go to the first server, the second server that we want to use as worker node. You switch to root, sudo su. Don't forget, it says you should run it as root. Then you run. Okay. It says this node has joined the cluster. We come here also. Okay. Sudo su. You switch to root. You paste the command again. And you also run. Okay. Now run this command on the control plane to see this node join the cluster. So let us return back to our regular user here. And here as well, return back to the regular user. So here it says we should run which command? kubectl get nodes. Isn't that? kubectl get nodes. Okay. Now see this. It says 50.do.2, which is this, the control plane, 159, 158, 158, 159. So gentlemen, we have set up a cluster of 3 nodes, 1 master and 2 workers. However, the status says they are not ready yet. Okay.
Ready yet.
Now let us read this. Please note that the certificate key gives access to cluster sensitive data. Keep it secret. As a safeguard, uploaded certificates will be deleted in 2 hours. If necessary, you can use kubeadmin init face upload set to reload certificates upload. So you see this token here, followed by this certificate, this token here, and this token here. They will expire after 24 hours. But the certificate that gives you access to sensitive data on the master node will expire after 2 hours. Okay. What that means is if after 5 days that we've been working, we realize that we need 2 worker nodes more, it means that this command will no longer work. Why? This token would have expired because this only is valid for 24 hours. So if I run the command K8s token list, K8s token list is saying that the one that gives you access to sensitive data, remember I said it's expiring in 2 hours. That means time to leave remaining how many hours? 1 hour, because you are using 1 hour currently. Then these tokens here, this guy and this guy, this is it. They will expire after many hours? 24 hours. So it means after a full day, you will not be able to use this command to add worker node to the cluster. Likewise, you will not be able to use this command to add, sorry, this one is for what? Control plane. You won't be able to use this command to add control plane to the cluster. Neither will you be able to use this command to add worker node to the cluster. Okay. So how then do you generate token when you want to add to your cluster?
Node. Yeah.
Okay. The command is simple. K8s token create. You will now say you should create it with the print join command, because if you just say token create, to just create this token for you. So what that means is you probably have copied this guy somewhere. This guy. If you copy it somewhere, you will just replace this expired token with this new token list. And you see that we have a new token, this guy. So if this
Just like keygen. Let's say keygen.
yes, okay.
Hmm.
However, if you don't remember to copy this guy anywhere, you can use that same command, token create. Then you will now ask it to give you the output with what? Print join command.
Hmm.
Meaning that don't just give me the token, give me with the entire what?
Everything.
Command. Because here, when I said you should create token without the print join command, it only gave me a token. So I'm going to have to put it within this jacket here. Okay. But with this, it's going to what? With the print join command, it will give me all. All right. So that's how to generate token when they expire. So first assignment in Kubernetes will now be, how do you delete tokens?
Sorry, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Sorry, this this one now we have two things they want to create. For example, now a worker nodes and maybe a control plane addition. Which one will you use to create a control plane? This one it give us now is for the nodes.
I didn't get that.
I say, you have two things that you show to us. So either to add a control plane to the existing one,
Yeah.
or to add a
The
nodes.
token is the same. Look at the token on the control plane command.
Oh, it's the same thing. Okay, okay.
Look at it. Do you see?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So what
Okay,
changes
the
is
same.
what? Okay. Look
Principle.
at this guy. All of this guy here.
Yeah,
With all of this guy.
it's the same.
Same, isn't it? But if you want to
Yes.
join as control plane, you add this additional key.
Oh, okay. It's not parts.
And that's the one that to expire in what? 1 hour. So it says, if you want to get this guy again, you should run this command. Do you see? Kube
Okay.
initialize what? Face, upload, sat. And then
Okay.
we have this guy again.
Again. Okay. 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 Start copy now.
Okay. So with this now, our cluster is set up. The next thing we need to do is to what? Get them ready. But before we get them ready, let's play around. What if we want to now remove one worker? Let's say we have about 5 worker nodes. We now want to remove one. How do we do it? How do we do it? The first thing you do is you will first drain that node. Drain. To drain the node means that from the node, you are sending signal to master node that the pods that you have scheduled to this node, you have to reschedule them because this node is being drained and it will not be part of the what? Of the cluster. Okay? Because if you do not delete, if you do not drain the worker node before you remove it, okay, it is likely that the master node will still be sending task to the guy, even though it might be unreachable from the master node. Okay? So how then do you drain? Simply say kubectl drain the name of the node. Look at the node name, IP followed by what? The local IP. No, that's not it. This is one we want to drain, Abi. It's going to be 59. Okay. Then you ask it to ignore daemon set. And then also what? Delete local data. That means all the information of Kubernetes on this server, delete them.
So we cannot do it
Okay.
from the master's node, Abi?
No.
Okay, you have to go to the node itself and drain it there.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Wait. What am I doing? This command should be from the master, please.
Let them saying, let them say.
You should be draining from the master.
Master. Okay.
Clear. Because this is where you control. Okay, kubectl drain
Yeah.
this guy. Okay. Look at what it says now. Node has been what?
Delete
Has been
drains.
drained. Okay.
Yeah.
You can now delete it. Okay. You can now say all of this. kubectl delete what?
Delete
This guy.
the host. Yeah. And node.
kubectl delete node. Don't mind me. I'm getting tired, right?
Yeah.
So it is not deleted. So if you run kubectl get nodes now,
Get notes.
it is no longer
Go on.
here,
Go on, yeah.
right? What if you want to kukuma scatter the entire cluster? You don't want cluster again. What do you do? Kube, which of the components, CTL, kubelet, ADM, did we use to initialize the cluster at first? Which one of the three components? Is it kube ADM or kubelet or kubectl?
BDM now.
Yeah, kube ADM. So if you want to scatter the cluster, what do you use again?
BDM, okay.
Right. So you run sudo kube ADM reset. Okay. So what this will do for you is to what? It will restore everything that was done with kube init and then kube ADM join. You know, to join this worker node, what did we use? Join. Kube ADM join, isn't it? To initialize cluster on the master node, what did we use? Kube ADM init. So if you run this, it will tell you that you are about to what? To make changes to kube ADM init and what? Kube ADM join. So everything that was done with initialize and join will be what? Will be reverted. Do you want to continue? Yes. So if you run kubectl get nodes, there's nothing like that again. So no more cluster. Okay.
Okay.
So you want the cluster again, you go back and what?
Do it and okay.
And set it up.
Join. Need and join, yeah.
You initialize it, do the necessary configuration, copy the commands to join, run it on other nodes.
Notes.
All right.
Wow.
I think it's a good place to stop today. When we come to class tomorrow, we'll set up our cluster again. And this not ready, we will ensure it is ready. Okay, we will use any of the CNI networking services, either Flannel or Calico, to make them ready. I'll show you on the documentation, right? Will there be any question?
Yeah, I want to ask you if it's possible to um what is the game now? If it's possible to
That's flat. Don't fly.
fly. Oh, don't fly, fly. Maybe it's much of this thing.
Uh,
It's okay. Remember again, we'll ask you.
it's okay. When you remember, you can put it up on the group.
Oh, good. Yes, okay, okay.
All right. Any other questions? So I've given you necessary files, right? Is there any file I've not given us?
No, you know, in our WhatsApp group now, we have about 2 files there now.
Oh, okay. So you have the
Yeah.
file to read
The one for
and
the one
also
for
the one
new
to set up.
script for Ubuntu. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Okay. All
So,
right,
but see,
everyone.
we're supposed to have other files, have we?
So,
The other two are learning the documentation you are not given to us, Lady Anne.
documentation for, yeah, the one for Maven, Tomcat, Arrow. I
Mm.
think
You
I'll
to read about
prevail
them.
on yeah.
Mm. It's okay.
All right.
But the last time we had our last class we had, we were trying to deploy that artifact that they couldn't deploy that. But I don't know, maybe what I've done with this Kubernetes, maybe we use to deploy it. I don't know.
Which I
Remember
didn't get that.
the artifact? No, no. Last time we had it. Last time we used JFrog to deploy.